You're about to hear something that will disturb every person who once thought they had you figured out. Because when your rise begins, the world around you won't know whether they misremembered your story or whether your transformation became so undeniable that their memory simply can't keep up. You're stepping into a chapter where people will argue about events they swore happened differently. They'll question their recall, question their certainty, question the story they tried to attach to your name. And the part that will unsettle them most is this: you didn't change suddenly. You just finally stepped into the version of yourself that heaven had been preparing in silence. If you ever felt this world was trying to lock you into a past you outgrew, stay right here. This message isn't just revelation, it's confirmation that your evolution is about to shake the room. Stay with me on this one. Watch. You're about to hear what will explain to you your very existence and how it is disrupting the people that believed and remembered the narrative that was told about your life. Welcome to Truth Tellers Mike. Let's get into the lesson. Your life is having others call it a Mandela effect. It is as if that's their experience. They remember for sure it was one way, but yet you're appearing another way. And that's not what they believe. It's almost impossible because what is happening to you moves beyond what people thought they witnessed, thought they understood, or thought they defined about your destiny. You are entering a chapter where your evolution will be so undeniable that memory itself won't be able to keep up with your transformation. People will swear events didn't happen that way, that they now see it unfolding. They will question their own recollection. They will question their assumptions, and they will question their own conclusions about you. This is the realm where divine intervention rewrites perception. Your life becomes the moment that makes people pause and say, when did this happen? How did this become possible? Wasn't this supposed to go another way? Because they will search for the version of you they believed would crack, fold, retreat, or disappear, only to find a version of you that stands taller, wiser, and more unstoppable than anything they prepared themselves to accept. Your journey is shifting timelines that people assumed were fixed. Your resilience is bending outcomes that once seemed cemented. Your rise is altering the story they believed belonged to you. Some will claim they remember you being weaker. Some will swear you weren't this strong. Some will insist there was a moment you should have collapsed, but they won't be able to explain why you didn't. Your life becomes the Mandela effect because the divine hand on you disrupts the familiar narrative and replaces it with truth that cannot be denied. The person you have grown into doesn't match the memory others tried to lock you into. So your presence now contradicts the script written by those who underestimated what you carry. In this deeper understanding, you realize your transformation is not just change, it is correction. Your rise is not an accident, it is restoration. Your elevation is not a coincidence, it is alignment with what heaven always intended for you. People who thought they knew you will look again and realize they were looking too low. People who thought your story was concluded will realize they only read the prologue. People who thought they erased you will be startled to discover you were only being repositioned. Your life becomes the Mandela effect because destiny is revealing the version of you that was always true. They remember the old scene. You are living the rewritten one. You are entering a moment where heaven is not just elevating you, it is reintroducing you. And when that happens, the world around you will not know whether their recollection is distorted or whether your transformation has outgrown what their memory can hold. This is the territory where your evolution becomes disruptive. People will stare, pause, and question themselves because you rise, and your rise contradicts every version of you that they rehearsed in their minds. I hope that this reaches into the core of that shift because you have been walking through quiet seasons where heaven rearranged your foundation without announcing it to the public. You endured trials that rewired your strength. You navigated betrayals that refined your discernment. You faced moments that were meant to destroy you, yet became the very catalyst that prepared you for where you stand now. And because that preparation happened away from spectators, your emergence will feel impossible to those who didn't witness the process. And this is why your life will become unsettling for your adversaries. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your rise exposes how deeply you were underestimated. People will insist you were once smaller, quieter, more dependent, and less certain. They will cling to fragments of a past version that no longer exists. And the conflict between what they remember and what stands before them becomes the Mandela effect attached to your name. You are the contradiction that forces people to confront their limited perception of you. Understand this at a soul level. Your transformation is not cosmetic, it is spiritual. It is the unveiling of the blueprint heaven wrote for you long before anyone cast assumptions over your destiny. You were shaped in silence, molded in pressure, prepared in isolation, and now your presence reveals a version of you that only divine strategy could produce. Nothing about this moment is accidental. Nothing about your rise is random. Every closed door, every misjudgment, every setback, every attempt to break your spirit became a tool in the making of who you are now. The reason people feel disoriented when they see your growth is because they built their opinions around a snapshot, while heaven built your future around a calling. Their memory froze you in a moment. Heaven moved you into expansion, and now the two realities collide. Feel the truth settling in your spirit. Your evolution is not meant to make sense to those who refuse to grow with you. Your breakthrough is not meant to soothe those who expected your defeat. Your rise is not meant to comfort those who benefited from your struggles. You are moving into a space where your presence carries evidence of divine intervention, and evidence will always disturb those unprepared to accept how far you've come. You are not here to fit into old narratives. You are here to reveal the one heaven wrote. Your walk is now graceful, and it cannot be denied. There's a depth that cannot be dismissed, a calling that cannot be dismantled. You are stepping into your future as if you never belonged to your past. And that alone rewrites what people thought they knew. Your life will be studied. Your testimony will be questioned. Your rise will be whispered about in private rooms. But the truth will remain. You became everything they didn't expect because heaven kept guiding you into everything you were always meant to be. And that is why your life will forever feel like a Mandela effect to the others, your adversaries, those who watched on the sideline and secretly hoped you fail. And this is not because memories are faulty, but because you exceeded every limit placed upon your name. One of the strongest lessons rising from this message is the understanding that your transformation will not always match the version of you others hold in their mind. And that mismatch is not your burden to correct. When heaven reintroduces you, some people will cling to the outdated memory because it is easier than accepting the depth of who you have become. Another lesson is recognizing that your growth is a spiritual announcement. It's not a performance. It doesn't come with theatrics. And those who misread your past will struggle to interpret your present. You learn that your rise is meant to unsettle the narratives that try to confine you, and the confusion others experience is simply confirmation that you have stepped into a chapter beyond their expectation. There is also a lesson in trusting your journey without seeking validation from people who never witnessed your inner evolution. Their disbelief should not interfere with your ascent. So the naysayers, or the ones who say, oh, you can't do that. I don't think that's for you. That's not possible. Really? That's out of your league. Do you think you can fit? Finally, you come to understand that the Mandela effect attached to your life is proof that heaven has rewritten the parts of your story that once held you back. And your responsibility now is to walk forward with assurance, leaving old versions of yourself in the past where they belong. Thank you for visiting my channel. Stay covered, stay conscious, and stay undefeated. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.